Earlier tonight, you decided that Stuart should be the second person to leave the Big Brother house. This is how he took the news.
And I can now reveal that the second person to leave the Big Brother house will be... Stuart!
Yes! I'm coming home! You're on, mate.
Why did Stuart fall out so badly with the women, and why did he go all funny when Josh went into the house? And who's going to write the shopping list now he's gone? Eviction night of Big Brother 2001. Nearly fell over them. With no nominations last week, and for this week, Stuart's battle is finally over. For the past 3 weeks, he's been crunching those abs and frantically winking in the hope of winning the hearts of the housemates and the nation. But tonight, you lot have voted him out, and there he is. Looks rather suave in his camel. I like that little outfit. And in 3 minutes' time, he'll be joining me to talk about the roller coaster ride that is the Big Brother experience. But first, let's see what happened in the last hour and a half. These two are
listen, guys, while I remember, while I remember, in the summer I'm going to have a party, all right? What I didn't tell you is that I bought a 9-acre farm before I came in here. So we're going to have a big party at my house. When we're out, all right? So you're all going to come round. By the way, and we'll only be serving dried up pasta and cider.
You better George only drives pasta.
It worked out really well because I didn't ever want to be the first one out.
No.
Just because I thought that carried, but being the second one out, no big deal. I've got what I wanted out of this. And if I'd have stayed a bit longer, great. If I didn't, it was no big deal.
That was a weird moment, that was, because I was sitting there and I was actually, for one of the first times in my life, I was actually so nervous.
Really?
I don't get nervous. I really don't.
I'm really jealous of you now, okay? For the Welsh girl.
Go to my Welsh wife.
Which means?
I was hoping I was saying my name. Absolutely.
Looking forward to it now.
Yeah, I was going, please, say my name. Say my name. I've learned a lot about myself. I really apologise to you, okay? So that's the one thing I wanted to do. You know, I really mean this. I've made 10 good friends, and there are 10, okay? And I'm sure that we will all meet up, keep in contact. And as I said out there, you know, the people that really understand this is us.
Definitely.
Okay, that nobody else can really say of our moment here what we've experienced, and that's going to be important to keep us all level. And good luck to whoever comes out of this, because you know, I'll be there. I'll be waiting for the person that comes out of this. All right. So I wish everybody the best of luck, and we'll see what happens.
Good luck to you.
All right.
Okay, it's time to go and get Stuart and return him to the bosom of his loving family. I'm about to talk to the house and start the 30-second countdown. I'm going to be going to the house to get him with his wife, Sian, and we're both going to welcome him back. Okay, I'm now going to talk to the house.
Anybody out there?
Big Brother house, this is Davina. Can you hear me? Okay, Stuart, you've been voted out of the Big Brother house. You now have 30 seconds to say your goodbyes and make your way to the main exit door. When the 30 seconds is up, the door will open automatically and you must leave the house. I must remind all other housemates that Big Brother rules state that they are not allowed to step outside. Is that clear? I'm assuming that that's clear. Switching off now. Please can we activate the countdown? Sian, come with me, honey.
30 seconds.
mate, put your bags out! Drop your bags! Drop your bags! Drop it! Come here!
So much. Yes, you have done so well. Oh, your friends are there, they love you and they love what you're doing.
Come on, follow me a little bit.
And the kids do right.
They're fine, they're fine, they're fine. Wait here 1 second. Now, just before we go into the madness, is there anything that you want to say to Stuart?
Yes, we're so proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
We miss it. We're so glad you're home.
I know. I'm glad to be back.
I know you are. They're going to talk about you and the Penny and Amber situation.
Let's go.
You know that.
Let's go.
Okay.
You were brilliant.
Come on.
Thank you.
Friends there, I think. I thought they were going to kill him. You've been watching him all week. After the break, you'll be hearing his side of the story. Oh yeah, welcome back. It's the interview we've all been waiting for.
Enough.
They're not quiet, are they, your mates?
No, never been quiet.
You've got a lot of support here tonight, Stuart. Fantastic.
Thank you.
And in fact, indeed, you've had a lot of lovely support from your wife there, Sham, and good news as well, because it was your son's, Rory's, birthday, wasn't it?
Yeah, it
on
was,
Thursday, yesterday.
Yes, yesterday.
But he's having a party tomorrow, and you can And the other good bit of news, I don't know if you're aware, but it's Father's Day on Sunday.
Yeah, I opened my card already.
So you can be made a huge fuss of
Absolutely.
on Sunday as well. I just want you to have a quick look there. It's quite weird, isn't it? That's the house.
I know.
As it's happening right now. Emma grinning away there. And can we see a shot of the group? All trying to kind of come to terms maybe with the fact that you've got...
as usual. Yeah, she's really coming to terms with it.
Helen's obviously finding it very difficult to come to terms with the fact that
they're crying, look.
Now, I'm going to bring it up now because it was something that happened a couple of days ago, and in fact I just wanted to show you, it made the front page of the Mirror today. TV show erupts into drunk row.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the first
and
one.
look at Terry Halliwell's yoga positions. They are incredible. How does she do
Always
that?
trying to steal the limelight.
But basically, it was quite heavy,
Sure.
the argument that you had. But just wanted to show you, because it's difficult to remember maybe exactly what it was like.
Great.
Let's take a look.
Well, you don't want to hear what you're saying. No, you're not. You're talking to
I'm talking to her!
I'm talking to you. One more time.
But I'm talking to you. But I'm talking to you.
Stop shouting at me now. You stop shouting at me now.
If I gave you the permission to talk to me like that, then I accept it. But I haven't.
Stuart, Emma's fine.
Their eyes are upset.
There's people hugging her, but she's fine.
Neither, come on.
I didn't mean it, he won't forgive me. I said because I didn't give him permission. Because I didn't give him permission to say it. Like that. You really are a lovely person. Whoever you are, you really are.
I mean, obviously that one we just saw was Penny,
Sure,
came out last week, but the one that I really want to talk about is Emma. What's your side of the story with that one?
Well, I think when I was coming to the house, I was going to bring stability into the house. I blew that one. We were having this conversation, boys were having a truth moment. She came
Girls
in,
kind of came in there,
crashed in over it. And I just got upset about it. I got upset at the fact that she was, you know, there was some stuff going on, the boys were having a bit of an argument, and it just erupted. And then I was really shocked. At the point of my surprise, Emma's crying. It was, for me, I sat and I thought, well, why is she crying? Because we were, you know, backwards and forwards. And I do the same with my sister-in-law. We have, like, real nasty arguments, but we settle it out at the end of it. And there she was crying and screaming, ranting and raving. And I tried a couple of occasions to say, look, you know, hang on, whatever you thought I said. And it was to do, I was talking about backgrounds and said, you know, none of us have had great backgrounds. However, look at us, we're all being successful in here and, you know, we've come through it.
And the drink, I think.
And then suddenly she hooked on to this thing about, you don't know anything about my background and you don't know anything about me. And I went, no, you're right.
Do you think that actually after a while it stopped being about the argument because it suddenly just started being about, well, you're not listening to me, no, you're not listening to me,
Sure.
And it was kind of like, it felt like the booze to me was...
I think, you know, I hadn't had that much to drink, but it was sort of got to the point where it was just getting into, and I learned what I should have done, and I was kicking myself, you know. I should have just gone and walked away and said, okay, that's enough, yeah, okay, you know, let's forget about it.
She had quite a bit to drink, though, I mean, I
think she had, and it was, you know, I don't want to blame it on alcohol, those are obviously front page, but, you know, I think, you know, we've got to that moment, it got to a heated moment, it could have been so easy. I think, you know, in that situation, it's bizarre. You know, I knew it was going to be Roy's birthday the next day. I knew I was about for eviction. All that stuff was all going on in my head as well.
What about, you know, you had the argument with Penny. Were you surprised sort of at how your behaviour appeared on the screen from seeing that? Or did you feel justified with that argument?
I think with Penny, I think you saw some of the footage of Penny. I mean, she went absolutely crazy towards the last week.
But you've just mentioned now that you were under a lot of stress being nominated. Can you kind of relate to that a little bit now?
I mean, it's very difficult. I will never be able to put into words what it feels like to be in that environment.
Yeah.
It's incredible. It's totally obscure. And, you know, you just cannot describe to somebody, oh, yeah, this is what it was like and this is why the emotions were like they were.
Was being nominated harder than you thought? Because you said when Penny got nominated, you know, I'm surprised at how they're both taking it. Penny and Helen, they both got very emotional.
Sure.
Did you find it harder than you thought you would when...
No, I sort of went, oh, God. And when you were saying, oh, then the person to leave the house, I was going, please say it to me, please say it to me.
I could see that, the relief.
And you said my name, and so I was quite relieved. I wasn't relieved, you know, to get away from the environment. I was relieved because I knew Sian was out here, and,
Bless her.
And that was going to be very difficult. I sat in the diary room, they said, what are you going to be like when you know that Sian's outside? And I went, I'll come back to that one.
You mentioned earlier on in the week that, you know, in business you get very good at reading body language.
Sure.
Now, there must have been a lot of that going on when you were in the house, and you also said, I'm pretty sure who nominated me, and I want to know who you thought nominated you. I can tell you had 4 nominations this week.
Brian, Emma, Narinda, and probably Helen.
Okay. We're going to show you if you're right.
Okay.
I'm nominating Stuart this week because I think he's changed a little bit. And I've noticed different characteristics, and I think he's a little bit more competitive.
My reason for choosing Stuart is I think he's finding it hard to mix with the group.
He's very competitive and he's got a bit of a smug streak.
I find he is a competitive guy, and I feel that sometimes causes problems within the group.
3 out of 4, not bad.
Now, I know that last one I could see on your face, bit of a surprise. I'm going to talk about her in 1 second.
Okay.
But your reaction, just quickly, to being called smug and competitive, is that fair? I
am competitive. I wouldn't have been in that environment if I wasn't competitive. I think everybody in there is, and that's me, and I know myself well enough.
Were you playing a game? Was it a game plan?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, for me, the one thing I wanted to quickly go back to is that although all that argument stuff went on with Emma, at the end of it the following day, we went, look, you know, let's bury this, because you can't, within 10 people in an environment. And I was very, you know, I was very sure about how I wanted to tackle that.
And in your favour, you also said that you learnt something from being in the house, which was...
I learned about myself. I learned that, you know, in terms of, I didn't try and take control. Hawley gave me some advice and said, whatever you do, don't try and take control in there. I stepped back from a lot of situations. I bit my tongue in environments where normally I would have, you know...
Hawley, could you put your hand up, please? Hawley over there. All right, Hawley. And Sian also is going to benefit from your time in the house because you've learned something about yourself.
I am domestic king.
He's
I've never been in a kitchen before.
Sian, and he's also learned to say sorry straight after it's all happened, and to maybe back off rather than confront.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'll still be competitive, sorry.
You're not going to be competitive, though, Sian. Sorry about that, love. Now, I just want to go back to Elizabeth, because she was the surprise nomination there. She'd definitely been on side.
Sure.
The whole time that you guys were in the house.
Yeah.
You were quite thick as thieves. Sian's got a little something she'd like to say about Elizabeth. Sian?
I thought she flirted outrageously with you and we had a real giggle about it. But we also thought that you had something in common with her, so I guessed 3 of the nominations. I didn't guess Elizabeth.
But what does he have in common with her?
I don't know, they're just competitive, a bit more mature, basically.
Okay, so sorry, whoops. Sian thought that Elizabeth was really flirting with you. Obviously, I didn't at all. Because I'm totally not interested in that sort of thing at all. But let's just see what Sian's talking about.
Is that feeling all right, your arm?
Oh, yes, it is now.
Is it? Are you sure?
Oh, lovely.
Yeah?
Not my hair. Where is your microphone?
They're so gagging.
They're so gagging. They're worse than Paul and Penny.
Did they ask you then in the interviews, what about romance? Would you consider it?
Yeah,
Did they even
like I
ask you
said,
that?
no, I didn't even answer the question. I think they knew what the answer was.
Yeah.
Now, Stubby, come on.
How's that stupid Stuart? I never see us already.
I mean, the body language there was speaking volumes. Did you feel that? Because I often think men can't read
No, I
women's
didn't.
flirty
I didn't see that at all. When I've got a wife like that outside, you know.
Too right. But you didn't read anything from her at all.
No, not at all.
Did you feel any sexual tension with between anybody in the house at all?
No, Brian. Yeah.
Fancy Brian.
Do you like Fancy Brian?
Fancy
No.
Jock.
There was one point I was in the bedroom and it's like you're sharing a surreal moment. There were 2 surreal moments for me. One sat in the jacuzzi and I'm with 2 women and 2 gay guys in a jacuzzi in London in a studio. I went, oh my God. And then I was getting undressed. And I stood there and I know he looked at my groin and I went, oh my God, what's going on? He was like, don't bring it up, you know.
Just tell me, Stuart, there's one thing I want to know, which I think is one of the most confusing things for me, is that, you know, you've got Sian, we've talked about her a lot, and you've got the kids, and you've got a lovely house, and you've obviously very successful in what you do. Why did you want to go into the Big Brother house?
I wanted a challenge for me. You know, I've been going mainstream in a competitive environment, you know, in the same old environment for a long time. I wanted something different, and I got it.
But what challenges did you find in the house that you can't find in your work, or...?
It's very hard to explain. You know, being locked in that environment, you're going to find out an awful lot about yourself. I learned about myself. I learned how to deal with different people. You know, I found myself in the kitchen making bread, for God's sake. You know, I'm going, why am I looking in the mirror? You're making bread, Stuart. Why are you doing that?
But did you like you in the house? Or did
I did. I mean,
did it bring out bits you didn't like?
The 2 arguments, you know, I could have handled a lot differently, and maybe if it wasn't such a bizarre environment and the stress and those bits and pieces that were in there, I'd probably tackled it a lot different, because you can't go anywhere in there. I did like, you know, I did like me in the house. I am a nice guy, believe it or not, and the 2 arguments that were there were probably just 2 of a few that are going to take place over the next couple of weeks.
And tell me, who do you like in that house? I mean, like, really like. Who do you think's going to win?
I think, you know, it's a difficult question. I like Bubble. I think Bubble's a great character. You know, he's full of it, and his reasons for going in, I would probably, based on his reasoning, I'd like him to win. I also like Dean. I think Dean's a great guy. I got on very well with Paul. I think Paul was a smashing guy. You know, so, you know... You know, we got on extremely well. We had a laugh together. You know, the girls are great. I mean, you know...
Back to Bubble, you were very annoying when you were waking him up in the morning.
I know, it's great.
Your poor children. He's never let them lie in.
Darren said, be yourself. That was me being myself.
Yeah,
Come on, get out of bed.
Anyway, listen, you were absolutely fantastic in the house.
Thank you.
And even with the arguments, it did give us something to all talk about, didn't it? It gave us a reason to log on to the website. We were very excited. So let's just take a quick look at your best moments.
Explain it, or defend it, or take it back.
Okay, I'll take it back.
Right, thank you.
Bring it on, baby! Bring it on, baby!
How many times do I have to admit to the world that I do go on a freaking sunbed?
Can I
I just think we're doing great on the challenge. Guys, can we have one conversation? Because everyone's shouting out 10, 20, then I'm getting 70, I'm getting peas over here, I'm getting beans over here.
I am a poser. I am a poser.
You are a poser, but that's okay. Tell me, who's going to write the shopping list now? That handwriting's so meticulously tidy.
Terrible.
Listen, you've got a lot of catching up to do with Sian, and I know she wants to tell you about the kids and everything, so I'm going to leave you in here to give her a big cuddle and to hang out with your mates.
Great,
and I'm going to
thanks.
go outside and see what everybody else thinks is going to happen next week.
Thank you.
Good luck with the
baby. All right, thank you.
Nominated next week.
Hopefully Amber and Elizabeth.
Amber and he wants the girls out. Okay. Who do you want to win? Brian? Who do you reckon's going to get nominated next week?
I'm not too sure. Maybe Emma.
Maybe Emma? Thank you. Who's going to win?
Brian.
Really?
Yes.
What do you think about his argument with Josh?
That was Katie.
What?
Katie argument.
Okay, Stuart's out. Who's going to be next? There are still 9 people over the river in that house. Absolutely anything could happen. Hey, I'll see you next week. Bye.
Who were the other two? Josh and
Me.
you did your tongue.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's why you jumped. I got it.
I did, and I...
You smell. I can tell by your lips. I can tell it was you.
Where's my lips? Where is my lips on a woman's mouth? No tiny mouth.
Is that the tape? Is that the tape?
Well, never mind.
Yeah, let's go find out.
Methods.
How many have I got again?
Number 6.
That's the tape.
Huh?
That's the tape.
Yeah.
Gracias.
It's too constant. Yeah. It's too constant. Right, okay. You sound like a
That's the tape.
Hi, Stan.
Doesn't make any difference to the
You can take that or you can throw it.
There's no more music being played. What would you advise?
I would take that.
Such a good
dance. Right. There's only one.
I think that's going to be closed out.
And double one.
There's live coverage of Big Brother now over on E4, and you can catch the bits you missed tonight here on 4 in Big Brother Reveals More at 9. Not forgetting the web for all the action as it happens, channel4.com/Big Brother. Stay with 4 for the Priory and guests Ant and Deck up next.